watching Gov's Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent. Hi, I'm Danny Bonaducci.
Tony, welcome to Gov.
Hey, Joe, how are you?
I gotta pat you down though, pal.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Got anything on you? Anything I should know?
I got nothing.
Anything weird going on?
What?
Alright, you go in, Tony.
Good. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Tom Kelly of The Tom Kelly Show. Yes, this is not the only time I've gotten on my knees in the back room of a comedy club.
The Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio Show is also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. Give Two Eagles Auto Body a call and please ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527. That's 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony on the Knock 'em Dead radio show. They're gonna keep knocking 'em dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie.
Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, that Knock 'em Dead Comedy Radio.
Hey Tony, you're not funny, and you probably shit yourself a lot, and you're no fun to be with, and you don't make that much money, and you're not going anywhere in show business, and I hope you get hit by a bus.
Let's give a big shout out to Tony Walker.
Tony Walker, who's a friend of mine.
Tony Walker!
Tony Walker!
Tony Walker, everybody. Stand up, Tony. Where are you? Tony Walker! Thank you so much, mate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Walker. Our favorite. We love you.
Knock 'em dead. Comedy show.
Hi, everybody. Sorry for the late start. We had some technical issues as usual. And I need to apologize to our guests. I've barely spoken to you because I was just kind of like battling all this technology that I know nothing about. Andy Mark is here, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Mark is here.
Hello.
And this guy's here.
Hi.
It's a Knock 'em Dead comedy show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We are live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club right here in good old Levittown. And we are on the Gov's Comedy Club podcast YouTube channel and Facebook page. Please follow the Facebook page and hit the thumbs up on the YouTube channel and do all the following and the liking and the sharing and all that internet social media stuff that we know nothing about. If you'd like to comment and say hi to us and you want us to read your comment while we're doing the show today, please do so on the YouTube feed because that is where that's where we're monitoring the comments, on the YouTube feed. So, but if you want to stay on the Facebook page, we're just appreciative that you're watching the show. We appreciate it very much. And Annie is here. Annie is she's going to sing some tunes for us. She's got a cool looking guitar over there. Yeah, you guys were talking a little bit before we started, so that opened up a whole bunch of other questions I have. Before we do any of that, I have a request. I want to start the show with a request. What are the chances of you playing I Wish I Was a Car?
Oh.
Would that be all right? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I can do that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. You seem
now?
like right. Yeah. Oh. Is that okay?
Sure.
You seem hesitant. I don't want to put pressure on you. We're just
Let's just see if I remember it.
Oh. Is that not so that's what I don't know. Forgive me. I don't know what that album is called.
It's called Annie Mark.
Oh. Wow, that's so clever.
It was like, yeah.
How did I forget?
It's self-titled.
Is that not your latest?
That is my latest. I'm in the middle of my second.
Oh, very nice.
Late bloomer and slow mover.
No, not at all. You're doing it. That's all that counts. How long ago was that album?
That was 2004.
Oh,
and then it was remastered by Paradiddle Records, it's all on all the platforms.
Very nice.
And Paradiddle remastered it and did a
Paradiddle. That sounds kind of dirty.
That's they're in Green Lawn.
Okay.
And we record with them a lot.
So, but I'm surprised to hear that you're not sure if you remember it. Like, do you write so many songs you actually forget some of them?
I've written a lot of songs since then. Yeah.
And that's not something you play very often, I guess.
I don't, but I mean.
You can play something else if you want.
I'll do that one.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to press you in any way. But I really dug that one, so I was like, I'm going to ask you to play it.
Okay. I wish I was a car. I wish I was a car. I wish I was a car sometimes. All sleek and shiny chromium and steel. White walls, every single wheel. I'd be your one and only lassie if I only had a chassis. I wish I was a car. You'd spark my plugs and ball my bearings too. Tune me up and lube me through and through. Rev me up and purr me like a kitten. Spend all day just 'cause you were smitten. Oh, I wish I was a car. 'Cause if I was a car, maybe then you would see me. If I was a car, maybe then you would touch me. If I was a car, you would get my motor running. Oh, I wish I was a flower. I wish I was a flower. I wish I was a flower sometimes. 'Cause if I was a flower, I would be blooming. If I was a flower, I would not be wilting. If I was a flower, you would water the thirst in me. Oh, I I wish I was Elvis. You know, I wish I was Elvis. I wish I was Elvis sometime. 'Cause if I was Elvis, you would. If I was Elvis, maybe then you would listen. If I was Elvis, you would know what you were missing. If I can dream, I would be your dream come true. Well, I'm not a car, I'm not a flower, I'm not Elvis, and I don't have the power to make you see me, to make you touch me, to make you want me, to make you love me. I gotta get my own motor run, I gotta water my own thirst, I gotta follow my own dream on. I gotta get my own motor run, I gotta water my own thirst, gotta follow my own dream on. I gotta get my own motor run, I gotta get my own motor run, I gotta get my own motor run. Oh, I'm glad I'm not a car.
Very nice. Annie Mark, ladies and gentlemen, I wish I were a car. I wish I was a car.
I wish I was a car. I was feeling really jealous when I wrote
Yeah, apparently.
say.
Apparently.
He loved cars, he loved planting and flowers, and he loved Elvis.
He loved Elvis. That's a lot of Elvis love right there.
And his favorite Elvis song was If I Can Dream. So threw that in there. Anyway.
And he's where now? Crying that you wrote that song.
He's on the other side of the ethers, so he's.
Oh, good answer.
I think he would still like it.
Oh, is that right? As he's listening to it, as he's tuning up his car.
In the heavens.
Mm-hmm. Oh, in the heavens.
In the heavens.
In
the beyond, in the great beyond.
Oh, okay. When you said the in the ether, I should have. Yeah.
Oh, you thought he was just gone.
I thought it was like another side of the planet or something.
I left him in the dust in the car.
You killed him, is what you're telling me.
I did.
Yeah.
I
All
did.
right. We have a confession here, ladies and gentlemen.
For somebody who's not a car person, I've written 3 car songs.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's really funny. But that song, yeah, there's it's a little cool.
It's a little cool. Has a little few metaphors in it.
Yeah.
Little double entendres.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why I dig it. Yeah. I think that was the first one I heard, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like this. But in all seriousness, so that's just a self-titled debut album.
Yeah.
Now I heard it, streaming. I don't know if it's available physically, but what I hate about streaming is that there's no liner notes.
I know.
So and I think you guys may have been talking about it, but I was fighting with all this stuff here. Who's playing the lead guitar in this album?
There's 2 lead guitar players on the album. Is who is now my husband, Chris.
Okay.
Who was a friend, first.
Oh.
And he's playing lead guitar, lead electric.
Yeah.
And then the acoustic lead is my friend Peter Canellis.
Oh.
Who is also a great songwriter and player.
Well, it was the electric that stood out to me. Like it was very. It was almost like classic, like Carl Perkins picking type.
Yeah.
Early George Harrison type, which I was
got
very
that.
impressed.
He's
And
so
that's your husband.
That's my husband, Chris James.
But he wasn't your husband at the time?
He wasn't my husband at the time.
Oh.
Chris James was a friend of mine who he talked about Sugar Magnolia, one of the band I was in the early 90s.
Oh, okay.
And it was an all-girl band.
Oh, nice.
It was 5 women, no waiting. That was our
5 women, no waiting?
That was our little logo thing.
It's my
Sugar
kind of
Magnolia,
band.
5 women, no waiting.
Wow.
And he was the boyfriend of our lead guitar player, Joni, who I'm still friends with also.
Wow. All right, this is getting better and better. So
it's
5 women, no waiting, and then you're sharing your men.
Overlap. We shared men, yes, and stories like you do in bands.
Well, yeah, it's like Fleetwood Mac thing,
Sex,
or
drugs,
Heart.
and rock and roll.
Yeah,
wow. Come on.
Wow. So, but poor Chris didn't plan well, because if he planned it right, he would have gone through the rest of the band first, because you're last. He was married to you, so
but he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't. Yeah. There's a story of somebody I know where she was at a dinner party and she was like, I've slept with all the people at this table.
No kidding.
Anyway.
Wow. This is not
Ren,
where I expected this show
I
to
don't
go
know
today.
why-
but
why we're going
I'm
here.
not arguing with it. I'm just shocked. Wow. Well, anyway, yeah, Chris James did a super job playing guitar on your album.
He did, and he still does.
And he what?
He still does.
Oh, still does.
Yeah,
Right,
we're,
okay.
we're working on my second record.
Very nice.
And Chris James will be all over it on guitar and organ.
And I did see. I'm not a stalker. I just did my research for the show. But I did see that he does. He did a nice what Hendrix tune? What, Wind Cries Mary, was it?
Yeah.
Right. You posted a video a few months of him. Yeah, that was impressive. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was not familiar with Chris James, and now I'm impressed. Did you know Chris James?
I don't know him personally, but I've definitely seen him.
You're
around.
aware of him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a good guitar player. I'm
He's
impressed.
a great guitar player and singer. And
Are you right over there? What's going on?
I'm fine.
do you want something
No, I'm
to
good.
elevate?
I'm good.
Sometimes I need that.
Move the wrong way. I'm fine. I just banged my knee.
Uh-oh.
And now, and that's all the musicians, because there's some songs with harmonies
No,
and
there's
stuff.
some of the ladies from Sugar Magnolia
Okay.
are on there. Joni Pollock, 14, and Kathy Kavanaugh.
Is that related to Tom?
No.
Oh.
Oh no. Well, Chris James is in a Johnny Cash tribute band
Oh.
called Walking the Line with Tom Cavanaugh. And he's also doing a George Harrison show.
Oh.
Coming up.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Where's who Chris is?
With Tom Cavanaugh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
I'd like
does
to
the
check that
Johnny
out, yeah.
Cash tribute, and he's doing it.
Right, I'm familiar with Johnny Cash. Yeah, and that's I wish there was a car that to me has Johnny Cash written all over it.
Yeah.
like
It's
like
like
you
that
can totally hear him.
influence.
Although just now, if I close my eyes, I would have thought it was Melissa Etheridge singing it. Have you been compared to her?
That's sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially my morning voice. Got a lot of grit in it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing though.
Yeah.
She's got a new song out that's really good.
Does she?
Anybody?
I haven't heard it.
I don't remember what it's
heard it.
called, but I only heard it once and I really liked it.
I saw her live at Jones Beach, and
Yep.
I always loved her, but it was like some of her albums were always like there was a lot of dynamics. But
Yeah.
when I saw her live, I was like, she puts on this great show and
Yep.
uses all these dynamics and
Yeah.
quiet and then
Yes.
forceful, and it was like it made me appreciate her and go back.
Yeah.
I always liked her, but I was
Yep.
like, wow, she's
The passion behind her
Sure.
singing.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
I I haven't seen her in a long time, but I think it was the last time I saw her was at Jones Beach. 1996 maybe.
That's probably when I saw her.
Oh, all right. Was it the show she fell off the stage?
I think so.
Yeah. That was the one.
Yeah.
It was the end of the show. She's bending over, shaking hands. And she just bent.
seen
She
it.
bent too far, and she just fell. And I laughed. No, because she was fine. I'm joking. Because she was fine. Just like when we saw Davy Jones fall off the stage.
Oh my God.
You
That
saw
was
Davy Jones fall off the stage.
At Westbury
Westbury.
Music Fair, because
Oh,
they're in
wow.
the round, and he was running backwards, and he just didn't look where he was going, and he tumbled. He didn't
I've-
just fall; he tumbled.
I've fallen.
You fell off a stage?
I didn't fall off a stage. I tripped on a guitar wire, and this was in Florida. And the guitar, and it was a friend of mine's brand new guitar,
Ooh.
and the neck snapped off of the guitar.
Oh.
He just bought it, and I thought I was in for having to buy somebody a new guitar.
Yeah.
And you
And
didn't?
I was gonna.
Yeah.
And then the band I was in Florida was Quarter Moon, and the lead guitar player was also a luthier, and he was like, "I can fix this better than ever."
No kidding.
And yeah, he
Wow.
did.
And what did you say? It was also a what?
Also, I was also in.
Luthier.
Yeah.
He's a luthier.
I don't know what that is.
He's a guitar. He made guitars.
Oh, that's
He built-
that's
he
what they
built
call it.
guitars. Yeah, luthier.
Oh.
He also built fiddles and guitars and sailboats. He was
Oh, of course, guitars and sailboats.
He was a great craftsman.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's what it's called, a luthier?
Yeah, luthier.
I thought you were talking about religion or something.
Well, it is religious because somebody who goes very deeply into what goes into making a guitar sound good.
Oh.
There's religious
Okay.
experience. in
All
that.
right. All right, good answer. I
I'm
like
just.
No, you got me. I got nothing to that.
Yeah.
But what is the word? Like, how does that relate to guitar? Luthier.
I don't know.
I don't know the root, what the root word is, but I'm going to look it up.
Yeah,
I do like to look up the root meanings of, like the original meanings of.
Yeah, I'm just curious where that all comes from.
Yeah.
I'm just reading some comments. Fettuccine Alfranco and rigatoni Walker.
It's making me hungry.
I guess I do this with most of my guests. I warn them. That particular guy, Andrew Fremder, he comes up with the worst comments. So I'm warning you now that his comments are bad. So you lucked out there. You would have had to pay at least a few hundred bucks to replace a guitar.
Yeah, in those days it was probably $500 or $600. Yeah, which
and now depending on the guitar.
$3,000 probably.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So all right, so what's the deal here? Because I've been before we went on the air, I heard some stuff about Florida. So are you from here and then you moved down there for a time and came back?
I was born in New York, in Queens.
Oh, okay.
And then we lived in Baldwin, and then we moved to Florida. I'm like one of 9 kids.
9 kids?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wrote my first songs when I was little.
Yeah.
In New York, but then we moved to Florida in 1972.
Oh wow!
And then I lived there until 1990.
Oh wow!
And I was in a band there that was
Quarter Moon.
Quarter Moon.
I'm listening.
Big fish in a small pond. We had.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. It was like we learned whatever we wanted. We did Boy George songs. We did Prince songs. We did Sultans of Swing. We did Hank Williams.
Oh, nice.
We did the Everly Brothers. We did the Judds. We just played whatever we wanted to, and people liked it. And we
back then
had
you
like
could.
a built-in crowd every week, and then we would play parties and things. And,
back then you could play anything you want. Like even radio stations
anything
could still play whatever they wanted back then.
You weren't
where
like
now it's all
in a box. You weren't boxed in because we were just like, I like this song, so we would do. We did Karma Chameleon, and we did When You Were Mine, and Time After Time by Cyndi Lauper, and we did Louvin Brothers and Everly Brothers, and like really harmony rich songs. Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Nice.
Just whatever we wanted, and it was a great first band experience.
That was your first band?
That was my first band. I was in it for like 8 years.
Wow.
I won a songwriting contest. We went to Nashville together.
Oh, no kidding! And recorded it? Or?
Recorded an original song.
Wow.
And we also recorded a Carla Bonoff song.
Okay.
Wow. With harmonies, and I just reconnected with the rhythm and guitar player. He lives in North Carolina, and went to stay in his cabin up in down in North Carolina, and we played some of the old songs. And Chris joined in.
Oh, that's cool.
And his wife joined in. It was fun.
What brought you back, Chris?
No, what brought me back is when you need to leave a bad relationship, you got to put some miles between you.
I hear you.
And that's what I did.
Again, you killed him, and you figured
I
better
killed
get
him.
out of town.
That guy was like, I need to know by Monday morning what you're gonna do, and we had to get out of his house. We were gonna either buy it or anyway. So by Monday morning, he left for work, and I left. I packed my guitar up. And my speakers, the essentials.
Yeah, of course.
Because I played solo still. I was in the band.
All you need is a pickup truck, and we got a country song right here.
And I had my little red Toyota Tercel.
Good enough.
Not my first car, but
that's all right.
It
made it to New York.
And
the Toyota.
hatchback, and left, and first went in Massachusetts, and hung out at the Iron Horse, and saw Janice Ian play, and would go to the open mic there, and then I moved and stayed with my brother for a little while, and just
wow. And you've been here ever since?
I've been here for almost 34 years.
Very nice.
Actually, July 1990. I've been here since then.
Very cool. And I heard, again, before we went on the air, Zach, is that you have a son named Zach?
I have a son named Zach, and he is a piano player.
Oh, cool.
He majored in piano in college, and he's a musical director. He musical directs shows in Merrick and Syosset, and he's doing one at CW Post coming up.
Very nice.
And,
so you say Merrick and Syosset. We're talking about the theaters there?
Yeah, the theaters.
The stage and cultural arts.
Playhouse, and he's done a bunch of different shows. He's,
Okay.
You know, he musical directs,
Yeah, I know
puts the
some
band
people.
together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know some people at those theaters. So, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
cool.
And I sing with him and his fiance sometimes. I put together like a band. Was my my bucket list. I always wanted to name a band The Cool Hand. So I did a couple of shows with Annie and The Cool Hand.
Oh, that's cool.
Just assembled Chris and great bass player, a cellist, Rebecca Perea, and my son on piano, his fiance. They both played melodica and saxophone, and I just was like, what am I waiting for?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Better do it now.
But mainly, what do you like? So the album, Annie Mark. So mainly, you're just it's just a solo thing these days, or
mostly. I mean, I play with. I'm part of a musical collective called NYRMA, NYRMA, New York Roots Music Association.
Okay.
And since 2010, we put on different themed shows. We did a Neil Young show. We did a battle of the British and American bands.
Oh, that's funny.
We've done different years. We did a hee-haw show. And, you know, we had artists that put up, like, you know, have like a backdrop. We did a reunion of the Space 1969 Apollo in 2019.
Oh.
And I had aliens come and take me away. Literally, that was cool.
Literally?
I did I mean, you could see it on YouTube, where I sang "Calling Occupants" by the Carpenters.
Okay.
Which it's an interesting song. And the aliens came and got me at the end of the song. I've never been the same.
So if we go on YouTube, we'd actually see we'd see the aliens.
You see the aliens coming. And
like, do they just walk, or are they like floating down?
They're like dancing. I was in the middle of singing my song, and all of a sudden, these 4, maybe 5 aliens come and.
They didn't even let you finish the song?
I made them let me finish because I'm a consummate professional.
Of course, show must go on.
The show must go on, and they're trying to pull me out before the end. If you can see me saying, funny. Just a minute, I'll go with you peacefully.
I would love. Yeah, I got after the show.
Up.
I got to look that up.
Yeah, really.
So, and you said you've never been the same. So, what exactly did they do to you?
I'm not sure. It was some little drilling thing with the brain, and my hands are different. I'm writing different songs now.
Was this before or after I Wish I Was a Car?
That is after.
After,
yeah. But I don't know. I can't explain it. It's still ongoing.
It's still ongoing? Oh, so they still have like a remote control on you?
I think so, and anybody that I'm in contact with.
Really?
Yeah, right.
I mean, just be careful.
I got extra mics.
I
And
see
another
the green
camera
glow in here. So
it's Frank. He's wearing green.
Yeah.
And it's the top of his head.
Yeah.
Well, the green lights.
See
that's
that?
right.
Anyway, I don't know why I'm going here.
This is the strangest show we've
I
ever
know,
done.
it's a comedy show.
It is a comedy show. Yes, it is.
I'm one of 9 kids, and I'm not the funny one, but.
Well, I beg to differ, actually.
Yeah, right.
This is going to win me a new crowd of people.
Well, you and me both. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Well, we have a cousin.
Yes.
I think I had her in here, didn't I?
A long time ago, I think.
Yeah.
Or she called in or something?
No, I think she was in here.
She was here? Yeah.
We have a cousin that said she was abducted by aliens.
Okay.
And she claims that they did stuff to her brain. However, I contend that she was kind of wacky already.
Yeah, I might have, because, I wrote that I Wish I Was a Car. I was probably a little quirky before that.
Okay.
So it just brought more of my quirkiness.
Yeah, but I get a normal vibe out of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
Where my cousin, no, she's
pretty
just
normal
bonkers.
and grounded, but yeah.
And then she claims she met her husband on the spaceship.
Oh.
But didn't meet him here until like 20 years later or something. Yeah.
So that's like a dating, a good, like maybe like instead of a bar or like a dating app.
Right.
Like an option.
That's destiny. That's
I like
what
that
is.
option.
I mean, you talk about destiny. I met him on a spaceship.
that is, it's a soulmate.
Exactly.
She's going to kill you, you know that.
What's that?
She's going to kill you, you know that.
She lives in Arizona.
She'll never know.
Yeah, right.
What's her name?
Her name is Linda.
Okay.
Like I've never said these things to her.
Oh, I didn't know if you did or not.
Oh, I've been telling her she's nuts since we were kids.
Nice.
Now, and did I see on Facebook guitar isn't your only instrument? Correct?
No, I play harp.
You play harp.
I
That's
just
where I was going
played
with that.
harp for a Labyrinth Walk at the Unitarian Church in Stony Brook, and I do that. I always do it on New Year's Day. That's for people to get the year going.
Oh.
And I love it. I just tune in to the people walking. I play very meditative harp, not rock harp. I
is there such a thing as rock? There's a thing.
There's rock harp.
Is that
they just have faster fingers.
Is that what's his name? Richie Blackmore? Is that kind of stuff?
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
I studied in Oregon to play harp for people who are sick and having trouble physically.
Oh, interesting.
Dying, and it's just like meeting people where they are, and you just kind of, if I'm playing harp with somebody who's sick or getting ready to pass on, I'll meet their breath with the notes that I play, and that's what I do when I play for the Labyrinth Walk too.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah.
I've always been impressed with the harp because you could do this with other instruments too, but you could almost play like two different melodies at the same time with the harp.
Yeah, you can.
And it's so intricate. And I'll be honest, my introduction to the harp was watching Harpo.
Right.
Oh, well, he's a great harpist.
He was, yeah. And I remember being blown away with all the. How many strings are there, or are there different types? I don't even know.
Well, Harpo played the big concert harp. They're like 100 pounds. You can change the keys with pedals on the floor.
Oh, okay.
The harp
that
I play is 31 strings, and it's a hybrid harp. Like before the concert harp was the Irish harp. That predated the concert harp. And that's the kind of harp that I play more of. It's like 5 feet tall. It's 31 strings, and you change the keys by these levers.
Oh.
And it's just like I didn't know what I was doing. I got the harp, and when it first came, I would just sing into the sound hole because I was like, "Why did I buy this harp?" Because I signed up for this class because I felt guided to, and I was like, "How am I ever going to learn how to play this harp?" And just like one string at a time. But initially, I just would sing in. They have these like sound holes in on the pillar, and it has a great echo when you sing into the sound holes. You would probably love it. It's cool. It's cool. It's got like almost sounds like a church. You know?
Nice. Okay.
Anyway,
that's wild. So like playing the guitar, you have to hit certain notes, and then so the harp, there's no doing that. So each string is its own note, and it's just a matter of hitting the right ones.
I mean, you still I'll play usually melody, and I play it different than most people do. I have the harp on my left side and play melody with my left hand and the chords on my right, which is an ancient way that people played. I just chose to do it.
Well, I'm learning a lot because I had no idea.
This
that mattered, I had no idea. So,
yeah,
okay.
I love the harp. It's a beautiful instrument.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I love when I get to play it. I'm playing a little bit of harp for a friend of mine. She's the feature songwriter, and I'll play harp on one of her songs next Wednesday.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I play mandolin too.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bit. I mean, I'm a guitarist that plays. This is what I'm a guitarist that plays a little harp and a little bit of mandolin. Like I'm not. I'm
a little bit of country, a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of harp.
Yeah.
Oh, self-taught too.
Mostly self-taught.
That's great.
Well, with the harp?
With the harp, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I took this class.
Right, yeah.
But it
You
was
went to
more
Oregon.
about how to be with people and using different melodies and like Gregorian chant, learning how to play that on the harp.
Oh.
And mostly self-taught, yeah.
Holy moly. Let's see. Yes, Fremda, this show brought to you by I Can't Believe He Just Said That. What an idiot. Yeah, that's pretty much every day what we said for you. Try playing the country song backwards. Your truck won't break down and your dog won't run away. Okay.
So true.
I wish I was a beetle on a dandelion. What the hell does
I'll write that next.
I don't know what that even means.
I wish I was a beetle on a dandelion.
Right.
Referring to I wish I was a car.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you can.
He's adding a verse.
He's adding a verse, or
Yeah.
it's second in the series.
Right, part 2. A blind man walks into a car. That's all right. I wish I was a car so I can be abducted by aliens. The aliens that abducted me were way more interested in my butt, says Andy Plajanos. Well, who isn't, Andy? And after all, you're Greek, so let's probe his Plajanus. Yes, I thought you would. Yeah, okay. Fremder says, yeah, something different comes out of his sound hole.
Oh gosh.
That's the level of IQ that we have on the show. You're playing the harp for people that are having their last breath, and we're talking about poop.
Well,
basically, yeah.
The humor. You need the humor.
You do need the humor.
It is divine.
Absolutely. I live by that.
I live by that too.
And he says, yeah, the mandolin is his favorite Star Wars show, which I'm sure we all knew that was coming. Yeah, I'm sure you've never heard that one before. So now you're I don't want to say your real job or full-time job, but you're a wedding officiant. Is that more?
I'm a wedding officiant. I do more of that, and I teach a ministerial program in Nashville with 2 colleagues. One who is also a songwriter. She does honky tonk mariachi and plays at the Grand Ole Opry. But we teach
cool.
together. We teach a ministerial program together in Nashville. I'll be doing. May 28th, I'm flying to Nashville to do that.
So explain. So what does that mean? So So you're talking about this girl that teaches with you, how she's playing the Grand Ole Opry. How does that fit in with the ministry?
Well, we met because music has been my way into really getting to know myself better and to heal things in my own life. And I met her doing some spiritual work.
Okay.
And I was already a minister. I went to seminary in Manhattan to be an interfaith minister. And we just became fast friends. And we were doing a breathwork teaching together. And the ministerial program that we teach was born out of what we thought was needed more of.
Okay.
And we put together like a 300-page manual.
Oh, wow.
And it's people that have done some deep dive into their own work and gotten their ministerial certificate, and then what do we do with it now? So we teach that, and it's just helping people step more fully into their own ministry. Whether it's doing weddings and funerals, and I do weddings, funerals, baby blessings, house. I just did a house clearing.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. And and sit with people who are sick
But the music end of it, is it like spiritual type music, or the music's not a part of it? Maybe I got this wrong.
Music isn't necessarily a part of it. I mean, because
okay.
I teach with another musician.
Oh, so that's just coincidental.
We start every class with music.
Oh, okay.
Every class. We either do an original, we do dance music that people can get into their bodies. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a new way of being in ministry. Wow. So the music isn't necessarily the teaching of that, but I can't separate the music because that is my spiritual path.
Sure, right.
Even when I sing non-spiritual things. I wish I was a car. To me, it's like that. I don't think, this is spiritual and this isn't. This is good, this is bad, this is dark, this is anyway.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%
That's my thought.
on that.
A regular rock and roll song has sent me to places where I feel way connected to something more than myself.
No, I agree 100%
Besides for
with
the
that.
aliens,
Well, I'm sure the aliens rock too.
They rock. I'm
sure they love David Bowie.
They were very friendly.
Friendly.
It was not unfriendly.
Really?
It was really, they wanted to learn from me, and I learned from them.
Sammy Hagar claims that he was abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
And he says the same thing, that they just were kind of just trying to get information from his brain.
Yeah.
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 I'm a big Sammy Hagar.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of his music.
Uh-huh.
I've had the pleasure of meeting him twice, something like that. And I love his book, and he talks about it openly. He feels that they were not out to hurt him.
Yeah.
I don't know if they liked his music or not. But,
well, that's what I like. I'm curious about many things, and aliens might be one of them too.
Well, all right. So I was going to ask more about ministry and officiant, but you said something before about. First of all, how often do you go down to Nashville for these classes?
2 to 4 times a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what is it? People register, and like when you have enough for a class, and you're like, okay, these are the dates.
People register, and then we do a hybrid usually of in person and.
Oh, okay.
Some people do Zoom.
And what did you say a few minutes ago about breathing?
I also am a shamanic breathwork master practitioner, which shamanic breathwork does use music, ecstatic music, along with a certain kind of cyclical breathing that brings you into an altered state of consciousness.
Oh.
And it's like, they've used hallucinogenics to do that and mushrooms and all that. This kind of breath work will bring you into an altered state of consciousness and bring you into, and it can really help people heal trauma, get them in touch with, who they were really meant to be, help them just be more grounded and more centered. And
what would it take?
Yeah.
What would it take for you to do that on Frank right now? We actually had a comedian in here a few years ago, who, because you were saying that hallucinogenics. We had a comedian here a few years ago who did that by drinking the sweat of a toad. Have you ever heard of that?
Oh yeah, I've heard that.
That's why I brought it up. I figured
I've heard of that.
That sounded so absurd to me, but I mean, he was swearing by it, and he said it changed him forever. He said it changed the way he thinks.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I didn't, no judgment. I was just
Right.
shocked that, like, who would even think, oh, I need to change, myself. I need to heal. Let me try the sweat of a toad. Like, who would even think of that?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
that's
there's
crazy.
these ancient plants that people have used to get into altered states of consciousness.
Right.
And now it's becoming a very big popular thing.
Right.
My thing is like I'm like a fierce protective mama. Like
That's the name of the second album, by the way.
Yeah, I'm like, when people are doing that kind of deep work, they need to be held in a safe container where they can go where they need to go safely. And I think some of the things that are offered, 150 people, and not the ones that I run are like where people have individual care,
Okay.
one-on-one, or
Right.
Not such a big group that people don't get taken care of when they're, ultimately it's their own breath is going to take them where they need to, but sometimes it helps to have a facilitator help them integrate. And so we use...
Help them integrate.
Integrate.
Oh, I thought you said integrate. I was like, oh, that's a cool statement.
Oh, well, it has
Never
helped
mind.
me integrate also.
Right.
Instead of into mediocrity. Integrate. That's great.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
I think you should.
Oh, that's good. All right. Yeah, it's just been, it's life-changing. It's like, I'm different from the breathworks that I've done.
No kidding.
So the first one I ever did, I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna teach this.
Wow.
And that was, so that's just part of what I do. I think many musicians have a lot of different things that we do.
Yeah? Not him. He doesn't do anything.
There's that, but every once in a while.
No, I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And officiating must be that must be fun, actually.
That is so much fun.
Yeah.
And I have a wedding booklet. I just met with a couple, and part of it is like really getting to know the couple and seeing what will make their day sacred.
Sure.
And it's a lot of people don't go to regular churches anymore, but they have a connection to spirit and a connection that they know that the day is sacred, which is like set aside. And you're saying in front of your friends and your family that you want to get married. And it's like, it's so joyful, but it's also like, I help them make the ceremony really custom made to what kind of couple they are,
right?
What their belief systems are. And I really love doing it.
I bet, yeah.
I really love it.
It makes it that much more special and memorable for them. Yeah.
And then I bless their babies as they've had babies, and and done funerals, kind of.
Wow.
So
I officiated a wedding last June. I was nervous out of my head, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got through it. But yeah, I was. That was because it's such an important day.
It is.
I mean, it's something most people only get to do three times a year in their life.
Yeah.
No, but you go in thinking that it's the only time, but so it is. It's an important day, and you feel that. Do you feel like pressure?
I feel it's not pressure anymore. I mean, I got so nervous the first time I ever did a wedding. I mean, I wore a robe, and my friend was like, "That's what the robes are for. It's so nobody can see your knees knocked." And I was so nervous. Yeah. But now it's like it's not pressure. It's more like I want it to be meaningful, Right, and I really same thing with a music show. I want it to be. I'm really interested in connecting. Right. And making like that couple is like they're the and holding space so that they go and people like it is. So I feel pressure in that way that I want it to be special for them.
Right.
And I feel like that when I play a show or play the Labyrinth, like these people are walking to meditate, or when I'm leading a breath work, which isn't meditative, it's more like it's very ecstatic music, but it's like really holding space for people because it's the more I go, the more I think of all life is sacred.
Well, yeah.
Comedy, music, connection, all of it, they weave together.
Yes. Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
Because it's a fun shared experience that, where it's all positive and doesn't know race. And, yeah, it's all just a good thing for everybody.
Yeah.
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 Because you've said it a few times now, ecstatic music. Can you give me more of like an idea of what that is?
Well, we have a thing called our chakra system.
Right.
Energy centers that are spinning plates.
Right.
And there's the root chakra, related to our family of origin, and the second chakra is our sexuality and our creative center, and all these there's these spinning plates. So the ecstatic music, it starts usually with like a kind of a real earthy drum beat. Okay. That is like sometimes Native American or an Indian raga, and it goes through the chakra systems.
Okay.
And towards the end of the breath work, it might be more like melodious and maybe some music from a film.
Okay.
And you go on these journeys, and you can go on more than one.
Okay. No, I'm glad I asked because ecstatic music. I'm thinking, heavy metal or something.
Yeah, to me, I call
that's
it
why
ecstatic.
I wanted.
But yeah,
that's why I asked.
Like
right.
Like a big Rudy drum
right.
beat.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So getting back to the officiant, whether maybe it was when you were first starting or not, but did you ever like screw it up? I'm thinking, did you ever see Four Weddings and a Funeral with Mr. Bean, and he's like the Father, Son, the Holy Spigot, and then he's getting their names wrong. Like, did you ever have a moment like that?
I have had many moments like
that. Many
moments. Because I grew up in a family that likes humor, I always use what comes up, in the ceremony, and just
you're doing crowd work.
I go with it.
Yeah,
I go with it, and that has happened. I mean, I've also. Most of the time I meet with my couples 2 or 3 times before the ceremony, but this one couple I hadn't met in person till the wedding day.
Oh, okay.
It was by phone and like email and stuff.
Yeah.
And I went up to the person and I was like, "Oh, you must be the father of the bride." And he goes, "I'm the groom." Like, good job.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, that didn't happen during the ceremony, but I was like, uh-oh.
During the ceremony, you talk about, how they met when he was babysitting her.
Oh. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Did you ever go to officiate a wedding and they took off in their Toyota? Like one of them took off before the wedding?
I haven't had
and
that.
You're standing there?
I was at a catering hall doing a wedding, and right after that wedding, they were like, the officiant didn't show up for this other wedding. Can you officiate this wedding?
Oh, that's cool.
Oh wow.
You're like, yeah, for $500.
Well, exactly.
Of course.
Of course. I mean, I can't. It's not going to be his custom. I'm going to use the wedding ceremony I have.
Yeah, right.
That's her name here.
Yep, and make sure I like. What's your name, Joe? Tony.
Talk about you're reading the same thing from the last one about how they met, and they're standing like, what?
Yeah, like, that's not our story.
Yeah, right. That's great.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, we still have a half hour. Can we get another song in? Is that
Sure.
cool? And I'll let you choose it this time. You were nice enough to take my request at the top of the show.
Well, like I said, I've written 3 car songs, and for somebody who's not a car person, I don't really understand it, but you just go with what comes. And this is a more recent song that I wrote, and this is about my first car.
Oh, not the Toyota.
Not the Toyota Tercel, but it was also red.
Oh.
And it's just called Red Fastback, and it's you look so pretty up there on display, calling out to me saying, don't you wanna play in this red fastback? In this red fastback, red fastback with an old 8-track. Once you're ridden in me, you'll never look back. Oh, red fastback, red fastback. I had to learn the right touch to tame your bucking clutch, my red fastback. Oh yeah. I put water in your battery, fill you up with juice, ready to ride you hard and fast and loose. Oh, my red fastback with that old 8-track, hard blasting loud, Nancy's ripping rock guitar. I rocked out with those sisters in my pretty fastback car. Oh, red fastback. Ooh, Barracuda going crazy on you in my red fastback. Oh, yeah. Hot wind blowing through my head, dog and butterfly. These dreams were awakening in my red joyride. You gave me my freedom, blew my world open wide, unleashed my wild one, buried deep inside. Oh, my red fastback joyride. I was dreamboat Annie looking for my magic man in that red fastback. I was dreamboat Annie searching for my magic man in that red fastback joyride. Ride, ride, ride. Ride, ride, ride. Ride, ride, ride.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. So how big of a Heart fan are you?
Oh my God, I love Heart, and they're out on tour again. And
Yeah.
Chris
With what?
and I just saw Tom Cavanaugh's Bad Animals Heart tribute, and
They're fantastic.
they're
I had them in here.
fantastic.
Yep.
Dina and oh
Yep.
my God,
You close your eyes, you think
her
Dina
voice.
is Ann Wilson.
And you know,
It's scary how much she
I
sounds
don't
like her.
remember the girl who sings harmony, but she's a great singer too. And
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
I
great.
was such a Heart, and this It came with an 8-track and
Yep.
these heart tapes, and I was like, it literally, I was like turning it way up, and and I just was like, wow, women that rock, and I just fell in love with that. And
Their drummer. I grew up with their drummer. Do you remember John Laspina?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's Bad Animals drummer.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Oh, okay, he's great.
He's
drummer.
phenomenal. He is
No,
phenomenal.
that was we just saw them. Where did we see it? Oh, at Bolton Center. At the Bolton Center.
They played the Bolton Center?
Yeah, they did.
How did I miss that?
A couple of weeks ago. It was
Really?
a good show.
Ah.
I mean, it's cool having women who do music.
It's cool having women do anything, as far as I'm
concerned.
concerned.
Well, I know, but I think it blew me away hearing Rumors the first time.
Yeah, sure.
Yep. And I was in a car hearing, I think it was Never Going Back Again.
Oh,
I was on a blind date, and I was like,
yeah.
Yeah. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I need more of this.
Lindsey Buckingham's one of my favorites. Yeah.
But then Stevie Nicks and
the
Kristen
whole thing.
McVie, all of them writing, and Mick Fleet was drumming.
But the first, the Buckingham Nicks album. You
Yeah.
familiar with that?
Oh yeah.
Wow, what a great album that is.
Yeah.
Which they've never released on CD or anything.
No.
It's still just kind
I
of.
still have it.
Oh, of course,
Yeah,
I
the
have
album.
bootlegs. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to say. That song, again, I'm hearing Melissa Etheridge in your voice, but that's Stephen Stills. That song.
Oh,
I heard
you.
nothing but Stephen
Cool.
Stills vibes
Cool.
out of that one. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh.
I'll take that.
Oh yeah, that was meant to be a huge compliment. Yeah, Stephen Stills.
I'll take it as a huge compliment.
Stephen Stills is my top 5
Oh, yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
And and you mentioned Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young before.
Yeah.
David Crosby's son, and I've mentioned it a few times, but I'm just excited about it. David Crosby's son, who's been playing with, up until he died, was playing with him for like 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
He's going out with a band this year playing that music, CSNY, and they're gonna be on the show.
Oh.
Looks
That's
like July.
exciting.
I'm very excited about
Wow.
it. Yeah.
And speaking of David Crosby, he's the biological father of Melissa Etheridge's
right.
first 2 children.
Yep.
Not that, I mean, everything's connected.
What a life that guy had, huh? The
What a
drugs, the women,
And
that
still,
guy lived a life.
He lived a life and lived a long life, even with all the,
Yeah.
had a liver transplant and
Right.
all of that. And
And look at Keith. I mean, that,
yeah.
that guy's been dead for 30 years. Nobody told him yet. It's amazing.
It's the pickling. It's the pickling.
Yeah, really.
Damn. All right, what do I got here? Okay, so actually, I think you guys were talking about it before we went on the air as well, but I do have it on my list. Northport Moth-style storytelling event this Sunday.
Yes.
And you also have a Bob Dylan event this Sunday.
Yes.
Sunday's busy for you.
Yeah.
What's a moth-style storytelling? What is that?
Moth-style storytelling started in New York City.
Okay.
A man named George
Costanza.
Yeah, not George Costanza, but yes, like the opposite of George Costanza.
Oh.
Remember the do opposite? Anyway.
Yep, I do. I remember that.
I go off. The moth style was born out of this guy George, who was from the South, and
the guy, he was the one from the jungle. Sorry, I had to do it. Sorry.
George from the jungle, right?
Sorry.
Exactly. So I'm following his brain.
I'm sorry.
I can follow Tony.
You don't want to do that.
I can follow Tony's brain.
It doesn't say much about
I've
you.
had practice.
It's not something I'd brag about. I'm sorry. I won't interrupt again. I promise.
It's okay. No, do it. This is part of the fun. George, he remembered when he was a kid, people would come over and sit on the porch and tell stories.
Okay.
And people would just be just loving, just personal stories. Everybody be listening. And the moths would gather by the light. So he lives in New York City and is decided he went to a poetry reading and it was kind of dry. Like people were reading from the poem. But then somebody got mixed up and explained something and it was a little part of a story. And he was like, that I want to hear more of that.
Okay.
Not the poetries, but but he ended up having these events in his apartment where he would invite people to just tell a story. with different themes.
Right. Okay.
And it just became like became really crowded and
like moths to the
like
light.
Moths
Okay.
to the, and now they have the moth style. They have story slams where you put a name in a hat and you can tell a 5-minute story, or they have featured. I just went to one in Brooklyn, and they have like 6 featured storytellers.
Okay.
And a lot of the profits go to charity. And the theme of the last one was Point of Beauty, and it was just amazing. It was a man with ALS that told a story, and it's really like the audience is as much a part of the storytelling event, where the listeners and the storyteller kind of start to vibe together. You're really listening to the story, and they hook their brains up to each other, like, and the brains start to light up the same. If a listener is really interested in the story and the storyteller, their brains light up the same way. Just cool little science thing. Just like a rock concert, after about 20 minutes, their heart rhythms start to go together. That's why rock concerts can be like a spiritual experience.
Okay.
Anyway, just a little side note. But the Moth, we're getting it going in Northport. I met this woman, Liz Alexander. She got it going because we were like, she was disturbed by the divide that was going on in the country and people being canceled for this and that, especially comedy. Like, it's dangerous. Like, you can't.
Yep,
you have
it
to
sure
watch
is.
what you say so much.
Yep.
And she realized, like, how do we connect to each other? We get to know each other and hear each other's stories. So she started, and I told a couple of stories, and I was like, I love stories like I love music. Like, my songs are stories.
Yeah, sure.
They're little stories.
Right.
Sometimes about me, sometimes about other people. But so this Sunday is a Northport moth style storytelling. We have 6 storytellers. The theme is coincidences. I'm gonna be the MC.
Nice.
And it's held on Union between Scudder and Maine. And there's a
tent,
yeah,
I know where you
tent.
are.
Yeah, it's a tent. Even if it rains, there'll be closed sides, and it's all the profits go to charity, Terry's Gifts, which helps people during holidays and helps families, if they're struggling.
Cool.
So, and I'm as excited about it as I get about music.
So, is this the first one or no?
This is the 4th one.
4th one. Okay. So you mentioned the comedy connection and people getting canceled. So can people tell a story that might not be totally PC?
Yeah.
People don't walk out and protest. They just take
because
it in.
if you're really telling a story from your authentic place, like there's something that and we also give direction, like give the storyteller your love and your attention.
Okay.
Because you're as much a part of this as And there was I think the last time I told a story. The story I told, I titled it "Amazing Grace and Spaghetti Dinner," and it was like different. It was a story about something in my life, and there was a guy that did like more of a controversial thing, but the attention was on it, and I think it helps us remember that we have more in common than differences. Like people with social media, like.
Right.
Unfriend me now if you believe this. Unfriend me now, and the comedians are like, people are being canceled, and and I'm like, I'm from the like everything can be used in humor to me, and I'm not saying not to be sensitive, but humor is meant to push the envelope.
Right.
Right. Art is meant to comfort the disturbed and to disturb the comfortable. That is a quote, I think, from Woody Guthrie. It's supposed to shake things up.
Right.
And
then even if it just seems like, if first of all, and I've talked about it many times on this, people, they get offended. Like what does that really mean if you think about it? Like, all right, so you're offended. What are we supposed to do with that?
Yeah.
Like, all right, you didn't like it. Okay, well. 5 minutes later, we could be on something else, or you might just disagree with this particular thing. Okay, got it. Now you just move on to the next thing. Like So you're offended. Does that mean we're supposed to, like, I don't know, kill ourselves? Like, what, what does that mean that you're offended? All right, you didn't like it. Okay, then now it's over.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm making sense, but.
Well, to me, it does make a lot of sense because I don't like some humor.
Right.
And I'm like, ooh.
Nobody likes nobody's going to like everything. Humor, a song, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. There was Mighty Wind was making fun of the folk
Great
world.
movie.
I
Yeah.
thought it was so funny.
Yes.
But some of my folk, because I'm really like early on before Heart, I was a folkie. I was such a folkie. My first concert was Joan Baez, and and some of my folk music friends were like offended by that movie. But I just thought it was like amplifying there's always truth in some humor, There's always a little truth, and it's always like it was funny.
Right.
But it got some people. But to me, it's like, do we cancel it or not have the movie? Do we not allow comedians to be what they're meant to do? Is just push. It's like, ooh, that one, and it's, to me, it's like it's a good indicator where I'm at.
Yeah, sure.
Like, why did that offend me so much?
Right.
And that's good information for me.
Right.
And
absolutely right.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So before I forget, let me see. I'm working off my list. I got that. Let's see. Yeah, we got that one. So before I forget, before we went on the air, you said something about a woman dying at a show you were doing. I got to hear this.
Yeah, I was in my band Quarter Moon, the first band I was ever in, in South Florida, and we were playing a dance, I think, and there was this beautiful woman in this gorgeous dress, twirling and dancing, and I do remember we were playing Bad Bad Leroy Brown, Jim Croce song.
Yeah.
And she collapsed. And, I mean, this is sort of funny, but not funny. We were like, the show must go on, so we kept playing. So
sure.
It was like, you just keep playing. And then all of a sudden, the dance floor clears. And then we realized the paramedics came and just, like, worked on her in the middle of the dance floor.
And you guys like, can you take that outside? We're trying to get a vibe here.
We were like, oh my, and it was, they had to cut up her dress open. It was just, they did the paddles.
That was going on right in front of you guys?
In front of us.
Wow.
And then, she died. I mean, that was, and it was very sad, but then we played the rest of the night. Just crazy.
Well, people were still there.
People were still there and wanting to dance, and we were like, wow. And it was just like so odd. It was an odd night, and I was like, bad Leroy Brown, baddest man in all. I mean, she died dancing.
She died happy.
She was engaged. I got a little backstory. She was only 55.
Oh wow.
She was engaged. She had just gotten engaged. Now that I might have passed that age, I'm like, that's young. Wow. Yeah, so that was one of the wild gig stories. Yeah.
Wow. What songs would you even play after that? Like, I'm thinking, Meatloaf, Dead Ringer for Love.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I know. Now the end is due. I don't know. I don't know.
Whitney Houston, I want to dance with somebody.
I mean, my bodyguard. Will you be my bodyguard? Call me Al. I don't know.
Wow. Well, that happened to us. Remember, we were at a wedding, cousin Laura's wedding, and a lady fell while dancing, and they had to get the paramedics. She didn't die.
No, but she hurt her back.
They took her out on a stretcher. Yeah. And the same thing, like the next maybe 10, 15 minutes was awkward. Like everybody kind of looking at each other like, what do we do now? But eventually, I forget if it was a band or a DJ. I think it was a band. Yeah. And they eventually picked it back up, and we, we basically just didn't care about what happened to this lady and just moved on and danced. I was at a wedding a few years ago where the groom was dancing with his aunt, and she was a big lady. Right, and they're dancing, and I forget what song it was, but it was something up, and they're really moving. And they had each other, and it was really kind of strange. They both kind of slipped at the same time, like their legs both gave out. He went flat on his back. She landed right on top of him.
Mm-hmm.
He got, we laughed about it. He got up, danced some more. It wasn't until after the wedding, so there was at least another 2 hours of this wedding, if not more. But after the wedding, he was like, I'm in pain. Turned out she broke his leg.
Oh.
But he had no idea. He's dancing around throughout the rest of the wedding. He wasn't feeling any pain at that point.
Maybe
but
the endorphins had kicked in and maybe some tequila or something.
Right. No, absolutely. That's exactly what it was. But yeah, it turned out his leg was broken.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That was definitely crazy. And all right, so let me. So that's a wild story, man.
It was wild. Yeah.
I can't imagine what that. Yeah. And then kudos to you guys for being able to pick it up.
Yeah. Kudos. I mean, now I think that I don't even know if I would be able to do that now. But that was odd.
Wow.
I mean, I was so raised on the show must go on. As a performer.
Of course.
No matter your face is falling off, whatever. You just do it. You play.
Your face is falling off.
Oh my God.
Of all the things you could have mentioned,
I know.
Your face could fall off. Let's see. So unfortunate that Crosby, Stills is not here anymore, but if you think about it, they'll eventually become Stills. All right, that was awful. Last time I saw Bad Animals, I sat in section A1C. John Rusiello says, "Wow, very good. Oh, very cool. She is good." So I think he wrote that when you were when you were singing.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you, John.
John's down in Florida. He's down in Florida.
Cool.
Let's see. My headlight's up for a different reason. I stopped playing music for sick people the last time someone died. The show must go on when life doesn't. I couldn't imagine performing to a dead crowd. Yeah, your jokes. Yeah, your jokes are to a dead crowd. You're killing them. So let's see. 12:15. All right. So give me some other memorable, because you've been gigging for a long time. So you got any other memorable gigs? Doesn't necessarily be people dying. Maybe good stuff, or maybe you played with somebody that we'd all know. Like anything. Any memorable stories from the road?
Things. Let's see. Lots of memorable things. I mean, I was talking to Frank. Oh, when you're at a club and drunk people want to come up and sing.
Right.
And the woman, all of a sudden I feel this heat on my back. This drunk woman had slipped behind me, and she had back in the cigarette in the bars days.
Yeah.
She had burned a hole in my shirt and into my back.
Oh my goodness.
And or when people request a song and they're really drunk and you do it, and then they come back up and they they'll say, will you do this song? And you do it, and then they come back up 3 minutes later and say, will you do this song? And it's the same song. So you're like, okay, this is fun.
So how did this woman get behind? I'm assuming you're standing in front of a band?
Yeah, I'm on the stage. It's a stage.
Yeah.
And she just stepped up. And, when you're singing, I wasn't really paying attention to... I was into the song.
Right, okay.
And all of a sudden, there was this woman behind me. She's like,
crazy.
I want to sing. I'm going to sing with you. Yeah. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
and then, a hole in my shirt.
Wow. And then
I've had some stalkers back in a long, long time ago.
Really?
I had a guy that would come to my gigs and tape all the gigs. And I had a day job, and he was like, I'm getting a divorce. I didn't know this guy. He's like, I'm getting a divorce. My wife found out about us. I'm like,
that's what he said to you?
Yes.
Holy crap.
So I'm getting nervous. I was shy. I sometimes I would take my break in the car because I didn't know how to talk to people.
Oh, wow.
And I told my father about it, my brothers, and they came because he would sit right in front of the bandstand and reserve the table and just stare and tape.
Wow.
And this one night, my father and my 4 brothers sat with him.
With him.
Yep.
And I never saw him again.
I was just about to say, nobody has.
They had a talk.
Wow.
That was an odd one. I mean, that was a long. I was in my 20s then.
He might be buried at Gilgo. Maybe
He
not.
might be. Yeah, this was a long time ago, and
Wow.
that was odd. I mean, I've had so many gigs where I've, when when you're in the flow and you're playing with people that you love. I've been so lucky that I have gotten to play with so many people I love
Oh, that's
still,
cool.
and
Yeah.
still friends with, and like some of the best connections in my life. Almost many of my closest friendships were born from my music.
Oh, wow.
From playing music. Even if they're not musicians, but met that way.
Okay, sure.
I'm just like, there's so many different stories and
Right.
shows and
Absolutely.
Just great.
Now, when you look back though, because you said it was a long time ago. So, do you feel like you made it because you had a stalker?
I felt like I made it years ago in Florida. We opened for his name was Gary Morris. He was a well-known country singer.
Yeah, he had a beard, black hair.
Yeah,
I remember him. Yeah,
and he was pretty well known.
Yeah,
and we opened for him.
Nice.
And Loretta Lynn's daughter was also opening for him. And
Crystal Gale?
No,
Isn't that her daughter?
No, that's her sister.
Oh.
This was Peggy Marchetti, who actually I just did a quinceanera a few years ago in her farm at her farm for my friend's daughter.
Oh wow!
And was able to say I remember you from that show that
Gary
we did
Morris
in the
show.
80s. So Gary Morris show. These little girls came up to me and said, "Can we have your autograph?"
Nice.
And I was like looking like who
Yeah,
are they
right.
talking to? And they wanted my autograph.
That's cool.
And you signed it, and they were like, "Thanks, Stevie Nicks."
Yeah.
No.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean that was thrilling. And
Yeah, that's cool.
It's an interesting thing because I don't have the music ambition gene as much as some people do.
Okay.
But I've stayed faithful to the music. I still write.
Yeah.
I write a lot. And it doesn't if there's just a few people that are connecting and listening, that is as satisfying to me as it's more fun.
Yes.
There's big crowd and you're making more money, but
Right.
I'm just like very aware of like did I make it? Have I made it? Not in the standard Western civilization way.
Right.
But I have made it in that I haven't stopped doing it.
Right.
I still get to do things like this and meet people and make connections. So
Sure.
I feel like because I had a stalker and I was asked for my autograph and all those other reasons, I have made it.
And she's going to be on TV tonight.
What'd you say?
She's going to be on TV tonight.
The West Houston, what's it called? The West Houston show.
That's it.
Oh, that's what it's called, the West Houston show.
Yeah.
West Houston presents, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. My husband and I did a show. It was really a fun show.
Yeah, he does a nice job. You've been
Yeah.
on there a couple of times. Yeah.
We had a great time playing.
Is this the premiere?
No, it's not the premiere.
Oh, it's been on before.
It's been on before, but
Okay.
We had a great time. And West Houston, he's fun.
And where you're saying it's on TV? Like where? Where do they see it?
It's on. If you have all T's, it's on Channel 20 tonight.
Okay.
At 9:30, I think it is.
I think so. Yeah.
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 But unfortunately, we were saying before, you can't DVR that channel, so you have to watch it at the time.
You gotta
is
watch
that
it
right?
live, yeah.
Well, does he put his stuff on YouTube or anything? Like you could see it.
Yeah,
there?
he has his own website.
Yeah.
He puts it on.
Oh, his own website.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh,
that was fun. Yeah.
So John Rusciello, I mentioned he's in Florida, so he's curious what part of Florida were you in?
I was in Fort Pierce.
Fort Pierce, John.
South Florida. I played in Vero, Fort Pierce, Stewart, Jensen Beach, in that area.
Means nothing.
It's like an hour north of West Palm Beach.
Okay, so John, does that help you? Your stalker wishes he was your car. That's a good one from
That's good.
That's really
good. That's good.
So you mentioned that you did the West Houston show with your husband, who's on your first album. He's working on this album with you.
Yeah.
Is that? I mean, it's your husband. So like, you see him at home. Now you're working on the album together. Like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Or you're like, can you get away from me for a few minutes? Or like, this is my album. You do what I say, fucker. Like, does it ever like?
We don't have that going on. No, I mean, Chris's ear, I have such reverence and respect for it. Even when I'm struggling with like a word for a song, does this fit better or that? I don't go to that many people for their feedback because it's like you'll get 50 different answers.
Yes.
But I'll go to Chris, and his ear as an arranger, like I respect him so much.
Yeah.
And we've played as a duo, on and off for years, and have honed our like musical marriage that is different from our marriage.
Right.
But I just have such great respect and reverence for his talent, his ear. I mean, I will disagree sometimes. Like on Cadillac Car, he played electric on that first album.
Yeah.
And that was my other car song.
Yep.
And
great tune.
The first couple of, I was like, I'm really looking for like more of a country kind of raw. Can you make your guitar sound like a car? So he did.
Oh,
He made a horn sound.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any effects pedals. He just does it with his hands.
Oh, wow.
And you can hear in Cadillac Car, he makes it sound like a horn.
Right, yeah.
Which is so cool.
That is very cool.
Yeah, but he doesn't take it personal. And when I say, I'd rather you do this than that.
Okay. So. And great answer, by the way. Great answer. But I do love, I love that part of creating something that. And your example is something I've seen here too with comedians. Sometimes you'll see them talking shop, or one turns, I'm working on this joke. What do you think of this? I've seen it where they just change one word out of the joke, and it clicks and it changes everything.
Yeah.
And then you feel it too, like
like,
now
boom.
it works. Yeah.
It's like
absolutely.
a puzzle piece that you're trying to force that looks like it sort of fits.
Yep.
And you're forcing it, and then you get the right one, and it's like boom.
That's
and
it.
it's like, there's a songwriter, Mary Gaucher. She talks about the words like a 3-minute song. She said every word, it's precious real estate.
Oh, that's cool.
And kind of like a comedian's act too. It's like precious real estate.
Absolutely.
You have a timed routine.
Right.
Monologue.
Right.
And it's like it's precious real estate. So
it's all about the timing.
You don't want that almost fits.
Right. Yep. Boynton Beach here, Jensen Beach is beautiful.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay.
is
He's in
close?
Boynton Beach. Yeah.
That's close.
Yeah, nearby. Yeah.
And then I don't know. Our mother just texted me. I didn't see what it said. What does she want?
Uh-oh.
My Uncle Frank lived in Fort Pierce.
Oh.
Who's that? Not she wrote my uncle, like her Uncle Frank. Who's Uncle Frank?
I have no clue.
I have no idea who that is.
Didn't know there was one.
No, me neither. Okay. Yeah, don't mind me.
Don't mind me. I'll just say that on Sunday is also the Bob Fest at
right.
at US Brews. It starts at 3:00, and there's all different acts. I think Dee Harris and there's another. I'm in a duo called the String Sisters with Maria Fairchild, who's a banjo player.
The what sisters?
The String Sisters.
The String Sisters. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said swing at first.
Yeah, we've done the Fiddle and Folk Festival.
Oh,
and,
that's cool.
And the Bluegrass Festival in Copeg.
Yep.
And you would play libraries. We're playing in Green Lawn.
So the Moth storytelling is Sunday.
At 6.
Oh, it's 6. So it's after the Dylan thing. Okay.
The Dylan thing is 3 to 6 at US Brews on Milldam Road in Centerport.
So everybody's playing Dylan music?
Everybody's playing Dylan. Chris and I, my husband and I, have been on 2 paradiddle records on Dylan Uncovered, and now there's a 3rd one being released.
Oh, nice.
So it's going to be a conglomeration of all the people on that, and then I'm not on this last one, but Chris and I are on the other 2.
Oh, cool.
So
what song did you do on those?
I did I Threw It All Away.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Chris plays organ and guitar, and there's backup harmony, great. And then When I Paint My Masterpiece.
Oh, now you're talking.
And we did it like bluegrass style, fast version of that.
Oh, that's cool. I like to hear that.
Yeah, that's cool. And then I'll be in Northport on July 19th.
You got a lot going on in Northport.
Yeah, no, I like to be close to home.
Oh, that's your place?
Yeah. The Northport happenings on Main Street.
Okay.
On Friday night, July 19th.
Very nice. So. Okay, so something I do with a lot of my guests, like I said, I do my research and I look on social media and stuff, and I always look to see what mutual friends we have. So I'm going to name a few. You can just tell me to move on. You can say whatever you want about them, good or bad. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. You might not even remember who they are. I don't know. First one, Danny Keene.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know what? I've never met Danny Keene.
Oh, really?
And I love his music.
Love his music.
I love his humor.
He is
it's
so freaking funny.
And, you know, he did a feature in Cinema Arts Center a couple of months ago, and I was sick and I couldn't come.
Oh, wow.
So my hope, we're Facebook friends, but Danny Keene, I want to meet you and,
All right. Well,
and hear you live.
We should set that up. We should do that in here.
That would be great.
He's been in here. I love Danny.
I mean, is
love
such
Danny.
a good musician.
Yes, phenomenal.
And funny, and, you know.
He does this. I've seen him several times, but a couple of times I've seen him. He does. You know, you have the effect where you play something and then it just repeats. You know,
the loop thing.
Yeah, and he'll do that on the keyboard. Then he grabs a guitar and plays a lead to it. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first time I ever saw him live. I didn't even make the connection. I'm standing and watching, and a guy comes up next to me. He goes, "Excuse me, didn't you used to work for the phone company?" And I did, and I turned to him like, "Holy shit! I used to work with his father at the phone company,
Wow.
but I never made the connection with the last name Keene."
Oh.
And so as soon as I looked at him, I said, "No, is this your son?" He goes, "Yeah." I was like, "Holy crap!"
Wow.
So yeah, that's my useless story of the day.
I love it.
Yeah,
coincidences.
Yes.
You should come tell a story for our moth.
Can it be dirty? I'm joking. I'm totally joking.
I mean, my wish it was a car has like innuendo.
Oh, it sure does.
And
That's why I
so
like
did
the song so much.
Fastback. I mean,
Yes.
I like to use a little innuendo.
Do people
I'm a
do that?
minister who uses. I'm the reverend. if you'd like to.
That's another album title.
Yeah, right. Okay, another name, Mark Klein.
Mark Klein, I've done his radio show.
Nice.
I also, me and Jessica Upham would go play at the hospital. I
nice.
brought my
You used to
harp
do that
and
too.
guitar.
You used to bring the harp there?
Yeah, I have a little travel harp.
Oh, okay.
And my guitar. And
So, but
yeah.
you said with the harp though, a lot of times you're playing for people, having their last breath. So when the kids see you walk in with the harp, are they like, ah?
Well, they don't know that.
Oh, okay.
It's honestly the harp really.
They're thinking.
Yeah, a melody that is beautiful can help.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with that.
Somebody not need
Yes.
pain meds and.
In all seriousness, I totally agree.
Yeah, they don't like. Oh no, the
Right.
harpist is coming.
Right.
The harpist is coming.
The
harpist
kiss of
is
death.
coming. The death. We'll put the dark curtains up. Clever, like Gone with the Wind when they cover the clocks.
But no, in all seriousness, you're absolutely right. The frame of mind when you're battling a disease, that's just as important as the meds, man.
Yeah,
in my
yeah,
opinion,
yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Zestos Christos.
Zestos Christos, I met him because I officiated his daughter's wedding.
Oh, no kidding.
And I know he's a musician.
Yeah.
And
A great musician.
And Robin E. recommended me. She also officiates
Right,
weddings.
yeah.
And she couldn't do it. So she recommended me for his daughter's wedding.
Oh, that's cool.
Sherry and, is it? What? Sherry and Eric, I think. Anyway, I
We'll
might
go
have
with that.
gotten that wrong. But Zestos, I met him at his daughter's wedding. And we had a great time.
He's a great guy.
And he's in that Santana.
Moonflower. They're
So
great,
he was just
man.
a great guy.
Really, really great guy.
Yeah.
I've had him on my show a few times. In fact, he's overdue. I haven't talked to him in a while. Would love to get him back. But the first time, it was just me and him doing the show, and he was talking about the band. To this day, I don't even know what sparked it, but he started crying. And I'm like, I never met. That was the first time I even met the guy. So I was like, I didn't know what to do. I just kind of sat there, just kind of waited, and then eventually, he stopped crying and we continued. But I didn't know what to make of that. But super nice guy, love him. He's great. All right, last one I got for you. Actually, I have Tom Cavanaugh on here, but we talked about him already. So last name I have on here is Carrie McQuaid.
Oh, Carrie McQuaid, I think I might have met her at one of the open mics years ago.
Probably something through him.
At the
yeah.
Irish Cottage or Jesse's Roadhouse.
Right.
And,
oh, wow. Those are
and
two.
actually
You're going
would
back.
probably hear her at R.S. Jones. Was it R.S. Jones?
R.S. Jones, yeah.
No, it's
In
R.S.
Merrick.
Beanery.
R.S. Beanery, right.
Yeah, so I think I met her that way and, really,
Wow.
great gal.
What a voice,
Yeah.
man. She can sing.
And I think I might have gotten Zestos' daughter's name. Forgive me. Anyway.
Oh, you think
if
you
I got it wrong.
Zestos Jr.
If I got it wrong.
All right, so
It's early.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's morning.
All right, so we are technically out of time, but do we want to just go a little bit over and get one more song out of you? Would that be okay?
Sure.
Excellent.
Cool.
This is not a car song.
Damn it. But does it have innuendos or any heart references?
It does not.
Damn it.
It's called In the Deep. The bridge is long, the journey's deep. My heart awakes for you to keep. So help me cross to the other side, where I can see the morning tide. For your hands are golden, your touch is sure. The words you speak lead me through the door, where the light it rises and passes through this open heart right back to you. My soul is soothed, my voice it sings. Where darkness lives, I now have wings. I never knew how lost I'd been till your sweet love took me in. Inside your arms, I feel most at home. The howling wolf and all the moons beckon me to kneel once more at love's embrace, her shimmering shore. I never knew how lost I had been till your sweet love took me in. Your sweet, sweet love took me in. The bridge is long, the journey's deep. My heart awakes for you.
Well done. Annie Mark, ladies and gentlemen. Annie
Thank you.
Mark. That was great.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Do we have a release date for the second album, or?
You know what pops in my head is before I die.
That's usually how it works.
I mean, that's my. That is, you know.
All right.
But like this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Very nice. Fantastic performance, says Joan Rusciello. Mary Bourne, who's watching from England, she's giving a hand clapping emoji. All right, so before we go, where can they find you and all your socials, all that good stuff?
AnnieMarkMusic.com is my website, and I'm on YouTube, Annie Mark. I'm Facebook, Annie Mark. I have Annie Mark Music page also, but
M-A-R-K.
M-A-R-K,
Right.
hard K.
Very
yeah.
nice.
And RevAnnieMark.com if you're looking for a wedding or officiant.
Right.
I do a nice wedding too.
Sure you do.
I've also played harp and officiated at a wedding.
Well, you'll play the harp and then just walk right over?
I've
bet.
I've done both.
Yeah.
I just did one last year like that.
That's wow. Yeah, you're a rock star.
I'm a rock star.
Absolutely.
I've made it. I have
That's
made
right.
it.
There you go. All right. Thank you, Annie. And
Thank
definitely when the album's done, like you said, it's this year. So come on back
That
when
would
it's
be
done.
great.
Bring your husband.
I will.
If you can. And then I'll see if we can get Danny in here as well. That would be a
great.
lot of fun.
Tony, it was great to meet you. And
Likewise.
Frank, Thank you for having me.
Very nice.
Thank
All
you.
right, it is time for us to go. Today is Thursday. What do we got? Circling the Drain tonight at 7 o'clock. And then tomorrow, of course, Coffee with the Dog at 9. We're back here tomorrow at 11. Andy will be here. Comedian Kelpie will be here. And comedian Mike Tanzi will be here. So we're going to have a fun show tomorrow. Donversations tomorrow night with Don. He's talking to comedian Ivory Fields. So, and then Don and I, we might be back in here on Sunday. We might. I'll let you guys know. And I think that's everything. Oh, of course, don't forget Governors this weekend. Go see a great comedy show. If you're not going to go see some music, you can go see on Sunday. You can go see Annie. She's got 1 million shows going on Sunday alone. But you can also go see The Angry Sicilian is playing here at Governors in Levittown on Friday, and then McGuire's on Saturday. Dr. Dirty, John Valby will be here Saturday night, which I'm very mad I can't get to. Chris Murphy will be here. Ryan Kenny. Samantha Ramsdell will be here on Sunday. Again, she had to postpone our interview with her yesterday. We're hoping to get her back before Sunday show. Wellie Jackson is playing at the Brokerage. Chris Roach playing at McGuire's tomorrow night. Our pal Chris. Go to govs.com to see their full schedule and to make some reservations to some great comedy shows. Don't forget Knock 'em Dead Comedy. We got on September 28th our trivia night. It'll be a fun game show. And, of course, go to knockemdeadcomedy.com to check out our full schedule and what we got cooking and what's happening with us. And, of course, information on how you can hire us for your corporate event, your fundraiser, your private party, whatever you got going on. knockemdeadcomedy.com. All right, that's all of it. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us again. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Who's with us next week?
Kenny and Sue Forgione.
Kenny Forgione. Very nice. Right. And his lovely wife, Sue. Is she going to sing, too?
I hope so.
Yeah, she's a good singer in her own right.
Great singer.
Kenny always steals the spotlight from her. And that's next week. That's next Thursday.
Yes.
And that's also your birthday.
Yes, it is.
All right, so the strippers will be here as well.
Yeah, right.
He'll run out of here so fast.
All
right.
Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say my first song that I ever wrote was a striptease song.
Of course, you saved that for when we're leaving here. That's messed up right there. Well, and I'm not forgetting that for the next time you come in here.
Write it down.
Gypsy Rose. Remember the movie Gypsy Rose Lee?
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know what I want to be when I grow up. I was little.
So you're like Jenny from Forrest Gump.
I'm like Jenny from Forrest Gump. And I write my first song and get my little friends to be out in the street with our towels and do a little thing.
Yeah, guess what that does to my little friend?
That was my first song.
You're playing that next time. You're playing it.
I mean, it's just like,
oh my goodness!
On that note,
you did that on purpose.
I also one night in Spionk, I played at a place called Seasons.
Yeah.
And I'd been there for, like, I was the feature every Sunday. I played every Sunday.
Yeah.
They wanted to either give me they decided to give me a cash tip. They were gonna hire like strippers. Like male strippers, but the Skydive Long Island said we'll do it for free, and they
said
I'm in
male
the middle
strippers?
of playing, and they come with cake, naked. It was a little embarrassing, I have to say.
Remember before I said, do you have any memorable gigs?
I know, it's all I'm old. These come later on. I went to the death ones first.
Yeah. All right. So now I already have the show planned out the next time you're here.
Really.
All right. I'm not forgetting any of this.
Yeah.
All right. Go check out Eddie Mark, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. See ya. What will you experience at a Knock 'em Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knock 'em Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
Have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knock 'em Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion,
a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what? I had an awesome time. All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah.